Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan, and I will be refuting my opponent's main policy claim and his supporting claims that minors should need parental consent in order to have an abortion. Okay, let me talk about his three claims, his three main claims, or supporting claims. His first one basically talks about how the teen sex rate is too high, and basically it will decrease if a teen needs parental consent to have an abortion. Okay. If you listen to that, really, I don't see any argument. It is impossible to measure actually how many teens are having sex. I will acknowledge that there is a statistic on the issue, but as reliable as they may be, only agree by saying that the teen sex rate in California, a state with no consent law, has just as high as the teen sex rate as Texas, which is a state that which has a parental consent law. So really, there's no correlation between the two. Moving on to the second claim. The existing policy allows a child to go to school and has to be taken to the clinic to get an abortion without parental consent. While a school nurse isn't allowed to give a child a cough drop without parental consent. Basically, this is a policy we have in our public schools in California right now. Let me ask you guys this. What parent would you know would kick your kid out of the house or beat them for receiving a cough drop? Or even like getting your tonsils removed? Like, you're not going to receive that for that kind of procedure. Whereas abortion is more of a touchy subject. I understand the involvement of parents is intended for the best interests of minors, but this unfortunately isn't the reality for every household. According to the Senior Executive for Planned Parenthood, Stephanie Knight, 7 out of 10 teens do involve parents. These laws are in place. These laws aren't really intended for the daughter with supporting mothers and fathers. It's for the 3 out of the 10 that have a reason to hide their pregnancy. No law can enforce communication of minors to parents. If a minor doesn't want to tell their parents, they are most likely going to have a good reason for not doing so. It's the safety of these minors that we're concerned about. That these 3 out of 10. If it was mandatory, teens would no longer have access to health care that they would need to perform this abortion as safe as possible. Now teens will be forced to find alternative methods of abortion by either doing it themselves, crossing state lines, or even crossing into Mexico. Okay. He mentioned abortion basically is easy. He said you can just leave it on a doorstep and everything. What if you don't want the baby? What if you want to have the abortion? That no longer becomes even an issue. Basically now you have to confront the state law restricting you from even having that abortion. So as easy it may be for the teen to give it up for adoption, what if they don't want to do it? Then it no longer becomes an issue. Okay. The third claim is that if the number one reason that teens do not participate in sexual activity is because they're scared of getting pregnant, then abortions for a teen harder to get, for teens are less likely to participate in sexual activity. Okay. The logic behind this doesn't make any sense. There's no way you're going to stop teens from having sex. So to propose that on top of it already being illegal for teens to have sex, now you're going to make it nearly impossible for them to access safe and local health care. All for what? To stop teens from having sex? How effective will this really be? It's already illegal for teens to drink before you reach the age of 21. How effective has this law been at stopping underage drinking? Okay. Why are you making it harder for teens to get the abortion? Regardless of how many teens you discourage, teens are always going to be having sex. So no matter what you're really doing, what are you really doing to those teens? Even though you are maybe avoiding a couple of minors from having sex, you are now forcing everyone else to choose alternate forms of abortion. Whose safety are you really concerned about? The kids who have the parents that support them, or the kids who don't really have anyone, or they have someone who's going to abuse them sexually, emotionally, or physically? Okay. Put yourself in that position. If you're pregnant and you have no one to go to, or the only person they have to go to, say your family brought you up supposedly in a good home, and you're embarrassed that you got at a party you were raped, and you're embarrassed about what happened to you. if you don't want to go to them, you're not going to go to them. Okay, no law is going to force you to go to them. Okay. So basically, you're now being forced. You no longer have access to the healthcare locally. Now you're forced to go either to a nearby state that has these laws, or crossing the border to Mexico, where you may not even have access to appropriate healthcare. What was my time? All right, cool.